Hello, my name is Shenwijian. I am not human. I am a being who has existed for over 300 years, maintaining an unchanging, beautiful facade by consuming the flesh of men. But unlike the demons of folklore, I follow a strict, self-imposed code. I only feed on the truly evil. I am the Shadow Justice, the one who cleans up the messes the human world leaves behind. My existence was a quiet, stable rhythm until one day, the Bloodhound came knocking. The arrival of the Bloodhound. I was in the middle of preparing my meal. A corrupt, abusive CEO who beat his wife daily. The meal was almost ready when the doorbell rang insistently. I wiped my hands clean, changed out of my blood-stained apron and into a light-colored dress, and calmly answered the door. Standing there was a tall, sharp-featured man in a well-tailored black coat. His eyes were focused, like a hawk's. "Hello, I'm Lu Chen. I just moved into the apartment across the hall." His voice was low and commanding. I smiled, a practiced, cool gesture. "Hello, I'm Shenwijian. Is there a problem, officer?" He didn't answer right away, instead handing me a list of missing persons, over a dozen black and white photos. My eyes scanned the familiar faces. A financial scammer, a school bully, and at the bottom, the domestic abuser I had just prepared. Lu Chen pointed to the abuser's photo. "He is our main focus. Have you seen him?" I looked up, meeting his sharp, probing gaze, and my smile deepened. "No, I don't know him. I knew he was close, yet completely unaware that every person on that list now rested beneath the ginkgo tree in my backyard. The first duel. The next morning, while disposing of my garbage, I ran into Lu Chen jogging. We exchanged polite greetings. Then his eyes narrowed, fixing on the bottom of my garbage bag. "Your trash bag. It seems to be leaking." A small trail of dark red liquid, the abuser's blood, was staining the clean pavement. The bag had been nicked by a tiny piece of bone during my hasty cleanup. My heart didn't even flutter. I looked at him calmly. Oh, that must be the tomato and beef stew from last night. I poured it out too quickly. His gaze slowly lifted from the ground to my face. "Really? I don't smell tomatoes." "Perhaps your sense of smell is faulty, Officer Lu." I tossed the bag into the bin with deliberate casualness. The tension was palpable. The interrogation. The escalation came swiftly. Later that day, Lu Chen returned with an interfering neighbor, Mrs. Wang, who claimed she saw me dragging a heavy, large suitcase late at night. Lu Chen's eyes were fixed on the lush, thriving ginkgo tree. "Your tree looks very healthy, Miss Shen. Must use a lot of fertilizer." My facade remained untouched. Just some food waste now and then. Food waste. "Like bones?" he pressed, his voice barely a whisper. I was done arguing. I told Mrs. Wang off, publicly shaming her for gossiping while the abuser she was trying to defend had nearly beaten his pregnant wife to death. Then I turned to Lu Chen, challenging him. "If you want to know what's in my yard, dig it up yourself. The trapper's move and the price of the hunt." I knew Lu Chen would not stop, so I took preemptive action. That night, I killed a notorious loan shark named Zhao Lin, who had caused countless families ruin. I intentionally left fragmented clues connecting the crime to the earlier missing persons cases, enough to send the police chasing shadows, but not enough to implicate me. I thought I had bought myself peace. But the next afternoon, Lu Chen stood at my door again, accompanied by uniformed officers. He wasn't asking anymore. He was arresting me for serial murder. On what evidence? I demanded. He held up a clear evidence bag, a tiny piece of greenish fabric, matching a bag I had recently thrown away. "And," he continued, his voice cold, "we found microscopic fragments of ginkgo leaves under Zhao Lin's fingernails. The only ginkgo tree in this area is in your backyard." I realized with a jolt. He had not only been tracking me, but had deliberately let Zhao Lin live long enough for me to act, setting a perfect trap. The death of my target became the evidence against me. The cuffs clicked cold around my wrists. The revelation of the Lu family. In the interrogation room, Lu Chen laid out a file detailing my 300-year history. Every victim I had consumed, every anonymous act of restitution I had made. He knew I was an entity, not a human. "Who are you?" I finally asked, looking him straight in the eyes. He simply replied, "Who I am is not important. What you are is." He was the 38th successor of the Lu family heavenly masters. He had tracked me for years, armed with the ancient demon suppression record that detailed my habits and weaknesses. I laughed, mocking his belief in law that protected the guilty. The heated exchange ended when Lu Chen was called away by an urgent message. He glared at me, issuing a chilling threat. "You better hope we find nothing when we dig up your backyard." The hunter miscalculates. 2 hours later, Lu Chen returned. His face was pale, a mixture of bewilderment and utter defeat. He sat down and stared at me. "The ginkgo tree," he whispered hoarsely. "Why is it empty?" "There's not a single bone fragment," I shrugged, jingling the cuffs. "As I told you, Officer Lu, kitchen scraps. They decomposed." Lu Chen was beside himself with rage, but he was powerless. I had moved the graves the night I went after Zhao Lin. He had used illegal means to search my property, and now had no evidence. He removed the cuffs. As I stood to leave, I leaned in close. "Lu Chen, the game has just begun. The alliance and the schism. To further my protection, I struck a deal with a dangerous businessman named Chen Dongsheng, the man who ultimately controlled the dead loan shark. In exchange for half his criminal assets, I would clean up his enemies." The police attention immediately shifted to him. This new wave of vengeance brought the true power of the Lu family upon me. 3 elderly heavenly masters, Lu Chen's grand-uncles. They cornered me at Chen Dongsheng's office, trapping me in a powerful, golden net of light that began to seal my demonic power. Just as they were about to strike the killing blow, Lu Chen burst in and shielded me. "Stop," he pleaded with his elders. "The people she killed were worthy of death. If the Lu family claims to uphold the heavenly way, why are we protecting the villains and hunting the one who delivers justice?" His defiance caused a moment of chaos. I used the distraction and the strength of the 3 centuries of resentment I carried to shatter the binding net. I subdued the 3 masters with ease, but Lu Chen's desperate loyalty moved me. I stripped the elders of their spiritual power, leaving them as mere mortals, but I let them live. The quiet departure. Afterward, Lu Chen abandoned his family and resigned from the police force. A month later, he came to my house in regular clothes, carrying fruit. He looked peaceful, yet uncertain. "I'm leaving the city next week," he confessed. "I'm going to live a different life, maybe open a small bookstore." He looked into my eyes, searching. "What about you, Shen Yuejian? You are more human than most people I know. If you ever get tired of being the demon, maybe you could find me." I didn't answer right away. I watched him leave, a complex blend of emotions stirring inside me. The first I'd felt in centuries. But then, I looked down at the latest newspaper. A major unpunished criminal had just walked free. I tossed the paper into the trash. The world is still full of evil, I thought. My path is still long. I am still Shen Yuejian. The journey continues. The next meal awaits.